well for YouTube later. And
did you throw in some bad Atari version sound for that Missile Command?
I did, because I couldn't find anybody who wasn't talking over their Missile Command playthrough.
Bastards.
I know. So I grabbed that, if that works. Is that all right with you?
That's perfect. So
it's fun it'll be good to call that out, because it's such trash anyway.
Right. Did somebody put an image of the rate your experience with the Dungeon Keeper thing?
I did. That was me.
I need to put that in there too, because I've actually played that on the. I downloaded that on my phone this past week.
we gotta talk about that piece of shit.
Dungeon Keeper.
If you look down in the news area, there's a.
I saw the screenshot. I thought it was a pop-up, and I couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, thought it was an ad. That's great. Yeah, we'll talk about that, because that thing pisses me off. Now everything about that.
I think we should talk about it.
We will. It's shit.
Because I didn't think it was that bad.
It's terrible.
Nah.
Okay. Well, let's do this. You guys ready? Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. I got audio's good. Bep, bep. Okay, we're good. And I got the intro up. Hold on right there. Okay, great. Wait. Nope. Okay. Yep. All right. Here goes. Ladies and gentlemen, join us now for the final score, which begins in... don't screen save me. There we go. All right. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
This is the final score, episode 147 for Saturday, February 8th, 2014. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the final score. This is the video game podcast for the rest of us. My name is Scott Johnson. I'm joined tonight by Nicole. It's not tonight, it's morning. Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
She's waving on camera, too. She's on camera today, guys.
Yeah.
Hubba, hubba. If you're ever wondering what Nicole looks like. Oh, yeah.
I just woke up not too long. Well, actually, I woke up at 5 a.m., but...
And then a little sleep later. I understand how that goes. You got a little sick baby. Totally get it.
Yep.
Been there. Done that. Speaking of sick babies, Brian Dunaway also here.
Hello. Thank you for having me on the show this week.
Are you feeling any better, dude?
You know, I was sick last week at this time, and I'm still sick. And
you had a bad one.
A little bit.
What's going on with that? You know what it is? It's the humidity down there. It makes everything stick.
It's cold here. I don't know what the crap is going on. Everybody's got a sinus infection. Apparently, sinus infections are contagious.
What?
It's certain types, especially the first 24 hours. Yeah, so everybody at work has had it. And so I went to the doctor yesterday, and he's all like, well, maybe you have the flu. And I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to have the flu. And so he comes out, and he sticks 2 long Q-tips up my nose, because I have to swab your nose.
Yeah.
Swab your nose!
Did you get this flu shot this year?
No, I didn't get the flu shot. So I was
you
thinking,
need to get it.
I'm gonna
yeah, you should get the flu shot.
No. We've talked about this a million times. Okay. The last time I had the flu, 20 years ago. Why in the world would I get a flu shot every single year?
Because it's not the same strain.
Feel the pseudo symptoms. No, I'm just saying, percentage-wise, I don't generally acquire the flu. I don't see why I would do something every single year.
It's bad this year.
Hold on a second.
Really bad.
Hold on. Let me say something. Let me tell you something. From my experience, I've only had 1 flu shot in my entire life, and it was this last April. First time ever I got one. And I don't get the flu often, but, every 5, 6, 7 years or something, I'd get something real bad.
20 years.
The problem is, Mr. Outlier, who thinks that 20 years for you means everyone has 20 years between flus. Here's the thing. This year's is particularly virulent, and it's so bad that people in our age range, like our mutual friend Corinne, who helps me run Nerdtacular, one of her best friends from high school, who is just our age, died last week because he was an anti-flu guy, got that flu, and that one is so bad for our age group because we haven't been exposed to this particular strain before that it ended up killing him. So,
point is, here in Phoenix too.
Yes, and I didn't have any of those pseudo symptoms after I got the shot. None.
So
my arm hurt. That was it.
Well, yeah, but that's no
big
deal.
So what you're telling me is that someone close to you died from this, or fairly close to Corinne died from this. How am I going to argue now about it?
That's the point. You can't argue now.
Even if I decide not to do it, I'm not telling you.
Look, I get the whole aversion to it because I avoided it forever. But it isn't just because it's somebody I know who knows somebody. It's just this is the science this year that people in that age range, kids are doing better and older people are doing better than the middle-aged are doing. because they haven't been exposed to this, and it's really vicious.
Yes.
So go get one, man. You'll be fine.
Please.
It won't hurt you. The worst case is your arm will hurt for a day or two. Big deal. You get that anyway, right? Someone punch you in the arm real hard?
Right. And you know what they'll tell us next year? 20 people died because they got the flu shot. Every year.
No,
it's
they
always
don't.
something different.
Nobody dies
Every
from getting the
year.
flu shot.
Oh my gosh.
That's all right. Look, it's okay because video games happen whether we get flu shots or not. So let's talk about video games.
Stay inside and play games.
Yeah, do that. Hey, what are you playing? Oh gosh, what a week it's been for me. I won't get into the gritty details, but it's been quite the week, and I was able somehow, despite all of the craziness going on, I was able to eke out a few hours in a few video games, and found out that Hawken, remember Hawken? Big old
Yeah, I love that game.
mech warrior-like thing.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot and played it quite a bit last year. And then I kind of got away from it for a while and never really intending not to go back. I liked it. So it's just a matter of, you get distracted, do some other stuff or whatever. And heard that they were moving everything to Steam and making it so Steam was the shell you had to use to play the game.
Right.
And I get that from a sales perspective for them. This is going to only increase their base, but also it gives them, Steam Workshop options and, cool update stuff and all that. Well, I just figured I'd go over there and do it. They gave me a key to automatically do it, and because I was already a playing, member of the community and whatever, and I had some existing currency and all that, so it just all gets transferred. And it was really simple, super easy, and boom, I'm back in. But I didn't know how many updates they were going to do. Like they've done even more than just the 2 months ago that I played it. Like all kinds of new interface stuff. There's a bunch of training ground stuff for people who don't know what they're doing. There's a new mode, at least one new mode, a whole bunch of new mechs, a whole bunch of new stuff, all new reworked UI and interface for how you tweak out your mechs and add new components and apply your skills and all that kind of stuff. And at least 2 maps I didn't recognize when I got in and played it. So I'm super impressed with how Hawken's going. I think those guys are great, and I'm stoked that they're in a place where they can broaden their audience and grab onto that whole Steam ecosystem thing and do well there. So Hawken, still a threat, still fun as hell.
Hawken's still the thing.
Yeah, Hawken, although the K is backwards, I believe, in the logo.
How do you type that?
I don't know how you do it. Is there a way to backwards your letters on a typewriter or a keyboard?
Sure.
Typewriter. Jeez, what
It
is
might
it?
be like shift, control, hold 3 different keys.
Let's try it. Shift.
Oh, I'm just
Control.
making up crap.
No, don't do what Nicole says. You'll
Yeah,
bleach your
blow up
hard
your
drive.
Oh my gosh, I think I just launched a missile at the Olympics. Weird. Shouldn't say that on the internet. So anyway, there's that. I also played the new, speaking of shooters, a new game that also hit Steam, also was free to play, and just the art style grabbed me when I saw it, and I thought, ooh, what do we got going on here? Kind of a gritty, but also cartoony, kind of Team
Gritty
Fortress
flex.
2-ish, but I would say more like they're riffing on like Rambo stereotypes and things like that.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking
Loadout on the PC.
about. Loadout. Yeah.
Not to be confused with an old PS1 game called Loadout. That was like a spaceship gauntlet kind of game with multiple people.
You should have did that old school today.
Is it
Oh, that
loadout
could be
PC or just loadout?
Just
on
Loadout.
PC?
Loadout on the PC, yeah. It's in Steam. And I really ended up having a really fun time with that. It's just kind of balls out, bananas, crazy shooter. It's third person, but it feels like first person in terms of how you aim and squat and squat,
Squat.
crouch,
I
run.
want to map my C to my squat key.
Go around teabagging people. or
Kind of, yeah, I could. But it's one of those games where if they went first person, you would have missed out on a lot of things going on animation wise. It's exquisitely animated, like Pixar level great animations. And if somebody shoots me in the arm and I'm starting to die, my arm is like a hand, start of a forearm, and then blown little chunk, and then bone, and then back to it, meat again at the top, and blood is just copiously gushing from every hole that somebody has put in me, and it looks incredibly well done, like really, really funny and well done, and gory, but kind of cartoon gore, so it doesn't really count. When you get your head blown off, you kind of stagger forward a little bit and then fall down. Like there's all kinds of great animation going on with like death and mayhem in that game, and I really like it. I think it's good, and I hope it gets the audience it deserves. So I'm going to keep playing that a little bit. It just kind of it brings you back to kind of the the Quake and Unreal days, but also adding in the, leveling up your dude and getting new weapons. And the weapons, I should have mentioned this, are completely customizable. So you go in there and say, I want this stock. And you can do this right away, even though you haven't leveled much. I want this stock. I want this scope. I want this magazine. I want this kind of ammo. I want these kind of grenades. Like, you can just be real picky, all the way down to the different components that are plugged into your gun stock. And it's really good. Totally recommend it. Yeah, people should play it. You two should play it. How much is it? It's free.
Oh, it's free.
Free to play. Free. Yeah, I put it on. I put it on par with like Team Fortress 2's kind of model. It's like that kind of free to play.
Right.
Oh, cool.
And it doesn't. You never feel like I never once feel like I need to throw down more cash. It feels like I can just keep going and play all I want for free. And it's good. I like it a lot. Nice. Really worth playing. And then the Grim Dawn Alpha. Did you guys hear about this Grim Dawn here?
No.
All right. So a few years ago, 90. Oh no, it would have been 2000.
Wow,
something.
that is a few years ago.
Would have been 2006. So it's still a decent amount of time ago. There was a game on the PC called Titanfall, and it was
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, created by a bunch of dudes, some of them ex-Blizzard people who built essentially a Diablo game set in the mythological Greek universe.
Right.
And a lot of people love that game. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Still looks incredible today. That thing holds up to just about any new game in that genre. It's amazing how well that holds up in terms of how it looks. Anyway, I was a big fan of it, and the guys who made that game ended up getting the whole dev team got dissolved and sold and broken up, and never would they come back to do anything. But some of them, and I want to say one of them was their founder, last year, or it may have been early last year, so it's been a while, but they announced a Kickstarter for a game called Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn is the name.
Grim Dawn.
And I, at the time, got super excited, and I freaked out, and I went, yes, I'm going to support this, and I threw my $18 or whatever it was toward it, because that got me a copy of the alpha, and then I just forgot about it, because that's how you do on Kickstarter, right? You're just like, oh, that'll come out sometime. So I just kind of went on, did my thing, and supported other stuff, and kind of forgot about it completely. Then I see it suddenly show up on Steam under Early Access, which you could buy into for like $30 or whatever. And I went, oh, didn't I buy that game?
Well, I think I already owned this.
And now then I was confused. Like, wait, now where do I get it? If I bought it, how come people on Steam can get it before I can get it? And it turns out I had just missed a spammed email from them that said, here's your code on Steam, and you're all set. Go for it. And I went and I found it. Got in there, downloaded it.
Did they do that with Wastelands 2?
Yes, I believe same deal. Did you? You supported that, didn't you?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a code, so maybe I missed it.
Go to their forums. They usually have some. That's how I figured this out. Is they had a thread that you'll be able to do this and blah blah blah. And that game looks great. I never supported it, but I totally want to play it. Wasteland 2, that is. I love the first one. Oh my gosh, it's old as hell, but it was so good. This one's kind of similar in the sense that it's set in a kind of post-apocalyptic sort of New Vegas kind of style thing, although there's a lot of other stuff going on here with a lot of magic and things that aren't just straight up, gritty desert, whatever. And they don't explain magic as mutations because of some bomb or whatever. But it's still kind of that thing. It's, rusty old hunk of metal for a shield and a piece of wood with some wrapped around, what do you call it? A barbed wire on it. Those are your weapons in this game. But it's straight up a Diablo-style action RPG, 3/4 view, kind of isometric view, smacking on zombies and creatures.
Right. How much benefit is a barbed wire on a piece of 2x4?
Better than, I think, just the 2x4, wouldn't you think? Because it's got all that laceration.
Well, but in real life, even
in real life, though.
Really talking.
Like if you and I, all right, you're in a room. I break into that room.
Right.
And I start hitting you with a board.
Okay, I have a 2x4 and you have a 2x4, but you've got barbed wire on yours. Okay, go.
I win 3 different ways. First, you may see it and go, I'm not fighting him. He's got barbed wire on it. So then you put yours down. That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is you don't care. You're going to fight anyway because you've got food in there, and I'm going to take it Rust style, right? So you're there with your wiener out. like Rust.
with my 2x4.
Yeah, with your 2x4 hanging. That game is so weird. Anyway, so I go in there swinging, and if I'm hitting you with that, with all this laceration and tearing and ripping of flesh effect, and you're just hitting me with a straight up board, I think I win.
So you don't think blunt force trauma is enough to create a win?
It is if you hit me just right first. You hit me first.
The abrasion and the okay.
You hit me first, I'm good. But the problem with that is you're slashing and you're whipping and you're not hitting. You're not making direct hits. So I'm going to be at the advantage because I'm tearing flesh while I'm making non-direct hits.
What if I run outside and find a rusty tetanus infested nail, and then I stick that in my 2x4?
Then you will win, but only about 2 weeks later will you win.
All right.
Because I need to die from tetanus. Right. Anyway, that's a fun little scenario there that we got to play with there.
Yeah.
Grim Dawn, it's good. It's an alpha, so it's it's rough on the around the edges. They're just finishing Act 2, so there's only really just this first single player part. But it feels good. The combat is meaty and tough and loud, and it's just real. I don't know. It's dark. It's totally up my alley. So I'm pleased to announce or to inform people that it appears Grim Dawn is coming along very nicely. And if you were looking forward to that game and you like dungeon crawly action RPGs, you're in for a treat. It's pretty strong so far. And then for I don't know why, and I can't explain it except to say I feel badly. Our friend Kurt Schilling announced the other day that he's got cancer. We don't know what cancer.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it was. You've been sick, but it was all kind of all over the tweets for a while, and he I talked to him via text briefly, and he's strong as ever in terms of his resolve and how he's going to fight it, and you know, he's going to do what Kurt does, which is stand up to whatever's in front of him and fight it, and that's good. But so we don't know what the prognosis is or even what kind of cancer he has, but it's fun. It's ironic, not funny, but ironic that very same day before I'd heard that news, I got real nostalgic for Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning again.
Right.
And I started playing it. This is the game that came out before 38 Studios got shuttered and that whole mess happened. And it's nice to be reminded why I thought that was one of my favorite games that year. I really, really like Reckoning.
It was a good game.
I love it. And
business aside, I mean,
yeah, forget about all that. The game they put out is great. Right. I mean, the MMO they were trying to build is really what brought them down. And this thing was, I mean, it's a weird deal, right? Like, this wasn't something they did from the ground up. They purchased Big Huge Games, who was in the middle of making this game when they picked them up. They kind of reworked it to fit the Reckoning story. But it was, a lot of that work had already sort of been done. They salvaged this developer that was going to have to go somewhere else anyway. That game was probably never going to come out before they came to him and offered to buy them and bring them on. So it's not like they, successfully went from zero to finish on a game. But it was a nice little in-between kind of stepping stone. And what they ended up making was freaking awesome. If anybody avoids that game because of the cloud of all the crash of 38, you're doing yourself a real disservice. And right now on PS3, free. If you have PSN account,
free.
Just get it. It's amazing. It's an amazing fun game.
I wonder how they did that. Because you would think that it would be, it's like, can you even put that game out right now on a new platform? I mean, it was just.
What do you mean? How did they do what?
Well, it was already on. It was on PS4.
Is there any legality still around the?
No, it was already on the PS3. You could buy it.
It's PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
You would have to ask that of all the games that they offer for free with PlayStation Plus.
Well, yeah, I know, but not all of them are in the middle of lawsuits and stuff, right? I mean,
well, that's true. That game, though, isn't so much. That game cleared. I mean, that game was sold and done and finished, and there was no. That game is not in contention. That was being developed separately. The MMO thing, that's all under all that stuff's under all kinds of crazy contention. But that other game doesn't really fit that. So, but it's hard for consumers to separate them. So what Brian, what you just said is kind of. I think
what consumers think.
Yeah, you're basically mirroring that problem. Is that people don't see it. The perception is everything.
Part of the problem, Brian.
I am part of the problem.
Perception is everything.
I am. The problem.
So people see that and they go, "Oh, well, I don't want to buy this tainted game that was surrounded by all this controversy." When really it had nothing much to do with any of that, other than the different parties involved. But all that aside, if you just want a really great game, like let's say it this way: if you think playing MMOs, what's fun about MMOs is exploring, finding new places, killing things, doing quests, growing your character, leveling up. If that's what you like, this is your game, dude.
Right.
And I love that. So I loved it. Still love it. Going to keep playing it. And it still looks good, by the way. Steam version just looks fantastic. So you're not going to, it's not like playing some ancient game. Mm-hmm. And I do believe one day, 10 years from now, this game will be looked on very fondly by people who played it. It'll be one of those games that people go, "Oh, you remember that?" Yeah, it'll be like talking about the old XCOM or the old, some other, Fallout 2 or something. The way they look at those now, they'll look at this and just think that was a great game. I really think that it's just so easy to get wrapped up in the politics of it, you forget how good it was. All right, I agree. So there's that, and our best to Kurt. All right, Brian, what are you doing, man? What are you playing?
Well, I'm playing this rat game right now. I just picked up. There was a demo on Steam. Shut up.
Is this the heavy metal band, Rat?
No, not
Okay.
Rat, not the heavy metal band Rat.
Darn
It's
it.
not even, are they more like a hair band.
They
really,
were more
than heavy
like,
metal
yeah,
band.
they weren't very hairy. I mean, everything
They
was heavy
weren't.
metal.
They weren't
then.
very hairy.
They weren't
Anyway.
very hairy.
They weren't very hairy. All right, so I've been playing Ethan Meteor Hunter demo, which is a little platformer game, and it involves telekinetic powers.
Don't you have a son named Ethan?
I do, and that's the reason why I picked this up. So I was
Oh,
thinking,
okay.
it's named after Ethan, who's my youngest.
I thought you were going to just tell us that your son played this game and you were
Yeah.
going to report on
I
it.
did too. I saw
Right.
that and thought the exact same thing. That's funny.
I'm not even playing my games anymore. I'm just outsourcing them to my children.
Brilliant.
And
Let them play the 2-hour demo. I get it.
right. So, but no, they had a demo of this. So I've been sick and I haven't had a chance to really play a lot of PC games. Most of my gaming has been, pocket handheld, laying on the couch, sweating, and feeling like I'm going to die. But so I said, I got to at least play something. So I said, let's pick up a demo. So that's what I did. Ethan just came out recently. Ethan Meteor Hunter demo. It's a little mouse, and it's a platforming, side-scrolling kind of game where you get to use telekinesis and also time manipulation. So it's a little bit of they describe it kind of like as Meat Boy meets Braid. I can definitely see the Braid comparison because you manipulate time kind of like you do in Braid. So you go to a certain point and you die and you're like, well, that didn't work out well. Let me try again. But the speed to it is nothing like Meat Boy. You do the same thing.
Why do
with Meat
people
Boy.
compare it to that then? I wonder.
I don't know what was other than maybe
Because isn't that the core of the thing? Is that it's
super fast?
Yeah. That's why if you ever compare anything to Meat Boy, you're not doing it because the guy in it's red. That's why it's the same. That's not why you compare them. You compare them because they're speedy.
Because it's a fast freaking you no time to think. And you just
Punishing.
keep going. Oh, did I try that? Yeah, exactly. Punishing. Did I try that pattern already? I can't remember. It was so fast last time. I don't know what the frick I'm doing.
Yeah.
But this game is more of you're taking your time. You've apparently you're a mouse and your name is Ethan. And apparently you've been hit by, because I don't think I started actually at the very beginning since this is a demo. You get you not only say you get hit by, but you get influenced by a meteorite that gives you powers. As you're going along, you collect meteorite bits so that you can get more powers because you're apparently becoming power hungry.
Like
I don't think that's part of the storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you do. So you can get past the next thing. So there's a lot of you entering into rooms where you have to go, okay, well, I've got to move that block and I got to flip it and I got to put it on that platform so that this door opens, and you're trying to do your little puzzler thing, which is fine as long as you're not running 101-degree fever and you have a huge headache,
Yeah.
in which case you're like, I'm going to kill this thing.
Don't
Should've
you
just
hate
been
it when
watching
you,
TV.
Yeah. Don't you hate it when you feel that bad and that one of your favorite things in the world to do casually, video games, you can't even do those? I hate that so
Makes-
much.
Yeah, I hate it too.
So mad. But anyway, the game's pretty fun. It seems like I'm constantly getting killed by electrical stuff, though. I'm not quite understanding why everything is electrified.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly getting shocked to death. And then, of course, it's not bad because you get checkpoints and it throws you back.
Reminds me of The Simpsons where Homer kept trying to it was this recent one where something got flung out onto an electrical line. And
The beer.
Yeah, the
Or-
beer. And it was for the Super Bowl. And he couldn't
Yeah.
stop touching it. Even though he knew it was going to shock him, he'd wait long enough to forget, and they'd touch it again. And that's for whatever reason, I just pictured you doing that.
It's true. And it's just annoying enough that when you're the checkpoint will start you behind a little simple jump over an electric block. And so you're so focused on the part that you messed up the previous time that you don't think nothing about it. So you come running up and you jump too soon. You land on the electric block and you get shoot back through the freaking start. And you're like, oh! So it's all puzzler games.
Yeah.
I enjoy them greatly.
Right, I can tell.
They bring me great zen peace. And right. Also played a little bit more Rust, which I'm still enjoying.
Yeah, Rust is cool.
Having a lot of fun with that. I love the fact that we still have this Rust server. We've got a Rust.
We got a Rust server.
We got our own Rust server for the final score, and it's a totally different game for us, I believe, in the fact that you can feel pretty safe.
So we're not making each other take our pants off?
Right. You can. That's disgusting, by the way. I think we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are, because it's awesome. It's disgusting and awesome.
It is disgusting and awesome. And no, it's if you haven't had a chance to join, do join because it's a very non-hostile environment right now.
I will say somebody reported that he built a shack and somebody took it over
Who's Shaq?
And
Who's Shaq?
on our server. So
Oh.
people are kind of doing, not
It's hard not to, isn't that? Game's,
Yeah, right.
The game's kind of designed to do it, right?
Right.
It's not password protected, and and we're putting information out there for anyone to really get a hold. The only thing that's saving us is that it's not publicly known. It's just well known in the community, our community. So for the most part, people play well. But even me, I'm super tempted. Oh man, when I come to the rally point where everybody is at, I walk into a room. And there's like 9 sleeping bodies in there. I'm thinking I could jack every one of these people. I could jack.
Can you kill somebody that's logged off?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I understand you could. I haven't done it.
I don't think you.
I don't think you can.
You log out, you're out. I don't
Yeah,
think
you're
can kill.
out.
You can take their stuff or break into their thing while they're gone.
If they put their stuff in one of those crates or whatever.
Yeah.
I could take their stuff. Can't kill them.
Yeah, you can take their shite.
Well, good, because that's been a major temptation for me, man. I mean, I'm just like, I'm walking in there, I'm like, oh, these guys, I can just stab them. Stab.
You're naked with your noodle hanging out. Like, I could sure use this
I logged
gun.
in. It had been a while since I logged in, and the whole fort had been changed. I'm like, where the hell did my sleeping bag go? Like, my stuff's gone. I don't know where it went. So thankfully, I had built a shack hidden in the mountains. And that's where I've been kind of hanging out.
But you can just respawn at your sleeping bag, though, right?
I had 2 sleeping bags.
Oh,
okay.
Look at you.
Yeah. So whichever one you lay down last is the one that you spawn at.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That makes sense. So hold on though. Did you guys hear what's in the news later? But zombies have been removed.
What does that mean?
Okay, so
I mean,
have you ever seen?
I know what it means.
You've seen the zombies, right? You've seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They killed me.
The game is supposed to be a zombie survival game. That's what the original intent was, but they've literally removed zombies because they're not going to have zombies anymore. So the game, I mean, they've said this up front on the thing all the time, saying this game is probably nothing now what it will eventually be. Bear with us. We know what we're doing or whatever. And this is one of those moments. It's like we're taking zombies out. So
are they going to take out?
Say what?
They're going to take out the radioactivity too, because I mean, otherwise you're just running around fighting bears, right?
No pants on.
Well,
no pants on.
I think what people are doing with the game is determining what the future of the game will be. So if a lot of the game ends up being just griefing on each other and demanding you take your pants off, or else we're going to kill you and take your stuff. If that's the mode, then the game may be headed toward a complete anarchistic kind of gameplay, where where that's the focus, and who cares about zombies or the world other than needing food and wood and metals and whatever. But they still need these burned out buildings because that's where you find a lot of the best weapons and ammo and Kevlar and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where they're going to go with it, but I do feel like things are in major flux right now. And even the rock, like the rock you swing at first, or your stone, your only weapon. I mean, that used to be a hatchet back in the day. So stuff just keeps changing. And
do you think they're trying to distance themselves from DayZ?
Probably. I mean, they already kind of. There was already kind of an outcry at the beginning of like, well, why don't you just make DayZ? It's just, people were all irritated that we're on the DayZ side of things. Maybe their thinking is, we have an opportunity to be a little bit more weird over here.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, like kind of the guy. I mean, he's the Gary's Mod guy. It's Gary. So when he does something weird, it fits the Gary's Mod. Gary's Mod is weird. The whole thing is weird. So I think Russ should be a little weird and not be so serious. So all these steps are fine by me. I don't care too much. I'm more curious to see where this ends. Mm-hmm. But we may be years from seeing where he's decided it's done.
Right.
Gary's Mod. How long did he work on that thing?
Oh,
Ages.
That forever.
Yeah, it's finally just a thing. But back in the day, I mean, it was a very different thing for a while, and then it was kind of a weird gallery character poser for a while, and then it was like its own game type where you could put mods and play game adventures, and now it's all those things. Like, who knows? Rust could be very different in a year or two. I don't know.
I'm interested. It's a lot of fun, though.
Yeah,
I like
very
it.
open.
Yeah, makes me feel warm inside to see games like that.
Right.
Made.
I played some phone stuff, of course. The typical, using my teeny towers and my Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sending me Valentine's?
Yes, I am sending you Valentine's. Am I?
I would.
I don't know.
Are you talking about on Tapped Out? Or are you talking
about
since
it's Tapped Out. You're sending Valentine's.
I haven't played any Tapped Out lately. I need to get back into it for the Valentine's stuff. I usually get back into it around the holidays.
Nicole, I tried to send you some, but your town disappeared, so there's nothing there.
Your town disappeared.
Yeah,
my town disappeared.
There's just floating boxes there and floating little. You just showed me before the show.
Oh yeah, but it was just a glitch.
I'm not playing Tapped Out at all. Is the point?
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say I
playing
think
that
I
crap
unfriended
at
you.
all.
Yeah.
And smack.
I did a long time ago,
Smack.
but I haven't touched that thing. And
It's
I have been playing this game that somebody told me about. It's called Pirate Showdown. Did I talk about this already?
maybe.
I can't remember. It's just a very simple. It's a very simple game. You're on one side, and an opposing team is on the other side. It's only single player, and basically you send out ships from your bay to go towards the other guy, and it's just in a straight line, and you're just basically laying down ships to go against the other team. So whoever uses their money management the most efficiently to send out the right amount of pirate ships towards their town at the right time ends up winning. So there's like this open battlefield straight down the middle where your ships kind of cross each other and they just automatically shoot each other.
Sounds like
it's
tower
interesting.
defense.
It's kind of tower defensey, but it's
my
more like
favorite.
you're doing it. Well, no, you're doing it right then. It's not like you're laying it out beforehand. Everything's just going constantly.
doing it right.
I don't like
You're
doing it right.
You're doing it.
For the
You're
record, I
doing
don't
it
like.
right, man.
I don't like doing it right then. I don't like doing it before, and I don't like doing it after. I hate tower defense in all of its forms.
Right.
Hate
But that, and I played a game we're going to talk about shortly in the news.
Oh, would that be Dungeon Keeper?
That would be Dungeon Keeper.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that dog of horse manure. It's going to be
Right.
that dog of horse manure, that bag of horse manure.
Oh, and I do have a Flappy Bird. Everybody, okay. Originally, it was just us retarded, casual. I'm sorry for saying the R word.
That's all right.
It was us people.
You'll
like,
get.
you know,
I'll send any emails
it's
that we
casual
get to you.
gamers.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not
Thank
a
you,
problem.
appreciate it.
Sure.
But I did apologize.
You did.
So maybe I will.
They're in trouble
repent
right
later.
now for making. Listen, they're making $50,000 a day on ad
Yeah.
sales.
Right.
For that stupid. And when I say they, I mean one dude.
One dude.
$50,000
Right,
per
right.
day, and then here's the stinker about it. A lot of people are up in arms about this. He's basically using art from different games in there. They may not be exactly ripped from it, but they're definitely sort of duplicating it. Those pipes are Mario pipes.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh,
They're totally
No brainer.
Mario pipes. So
Flappy
No,
Bird, I
people are
hate
all
you.
people are all mad. Plus that game's hard as hell. Plus, it's one of
That's why
those just
people are
like it's
really-
one of those things that's like just
The game-
captured everybody's imagination and became
Did
this
you see
viral thing.
the Tumblr that shows all of the ripped off games and people saying, I need to create a version of Flappy Bird, I'll pay you $500, blah blah blah.
No,
Like
I
there's
love
like
that.
this whole like just seedy underworld of copying games, and there's a Tumblr blog that kind of shows it.
I just
And in fact,
Flappy-
Flappy Bird
Yeah.
is a copy of a game in I think 2011 that was the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
Called-
bleh.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's not really the reason why I was wanting to talk about it. Everybody's
Okay,
heard
sorry.
about Everybody's heard about Flappy Bird, her. The I think more than anything is the buzz around Flappy Bird, because the game is very simple. There's nothing really much to it, and but there is such a desire for people to say that they have made it a certain amount. I work with a bunch of women
Yeah.
at where I work at, and it's not a good or bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're very competitive with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all probably 40s in that age group. Well, we had a shadow come to work, not like Peter Pan shadow. A what it is a kid from one of the schools. His parents works there, and so he come to shadow us. He is a teenager. He's played Flappy Bird. He literally spent 30 minutes at our front area with all these 40-year-old women standing around trying to get him to get them past like level, like 12 or something, so that they could go home and show their children that they were capable of getting past, one or two tubes.
Wow.
So it's like this weird adult appreciation of children and teenagers, because these teenagers are able to get like 60 and 70,
Yeah.
and these people over 40 are having trouble getting past 2. So it's just this weird.
The game's weird.
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think that
weird.
guy.
It's-
There's been some interviews with the guy, and he's like, I had no idea. He goes, "This is just supposed to be a
Right.
dumb throwaway game."
Yeah.
He didn't expect that. $50,000 a day. Let's
me
do a little
99.
math, folks. Just want to do a little math on that. $50,000 a day, just on just as ad impressions. This is all he's making. There's no in-game buying or purchasing. It's just strictly ad
Right.
views. Okay, so $50K a day Hold on. Times. Let's say he does it for. Let's say he only gets to do that for 200 days and then it drops off. Okay, 200
Right.
days. That's $10 million.
Right.
Holy
Now, what is
sheet!
What does Apple or Droid take of that? I wonder.
Well, that's just.
Or was that his take?
This is his take. So they're
Wow.
making their 30% already. Plus,
Yeah.
this is his 70. He's
Right.
making $10 million in less than a year.
And he's just sitting around going, "How can I make another Flappy Bird?"
I think he's not doing that. I think he's thinking, I'm going to take this for all I can get out of it, and when this flash in the pan is over, I am going to have good money in the bank, solid investments, and relax the rest of my life. That's what I would do.
That's what I do too.
Yeah,
Not me, man. I'd be like, "Okay, how can I start these people to have some more money?"
Yeah.
I'm greedy, I guess.
you're the.
I just
you're
watched The Wolf. I just watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
how was that? How was that movie?
Oh, profane.
Yeah, I
I
heard
was gonna say, don't cuss.
some sweary business. I've heard.
Most people, they're naked most of the time, and there's lots of profanity and lots of drug use.
Hold on,
So- but
worse
it's-
swearing than say Goodfellas.
It's the mo-
Yes.
It's the most sweary per minute movie
Yeah.
of all time.
It is. Wow.
Yeah,
It's,
I thought that
I
was
wouldn't
Pulp
doubt it.
Fiction for a long time. No, I guess
it
not.
probably was. This makes
This-
Pulp Fiction look
this
like
broke
they
the
were.
record.
Yeah.
All right.
More swear words per minute.
Nice.
And number of naked ladies got to be pretty close to there.
Well, that's good news for everyone, I suppose, or not.
And that's
I don't
what
know
I've been
to say.
doing this week.
All right. Nice. Nicole, what are you doing?
Yes. So, chapter 2 of The Wolf Among Us finally released this week.
Yay!
And I consumed it very fast.
Yeah.
And how was it?
It was great. I love this game. It's
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
So,
I like the first one
it
a
took
lot.
forever for the second chapter to come out. Like, I was looking at the time frame. Episode 1 came out in October 11th of last year. So episode 2 came out February 4th or 7th, whatever. And I just feel like I finished it really fast. Like, it just seemed fast. But I don't know if it was because I just really enjoyed it or if it really truly was shorter than the first episode. But it's a great, for anyone not familiar with the Fable comic book. This is a prequel to that, and it stars the main character you play is a character named Bigby, the big bad wolf,
Yeah.
and it's just a cool imagination of all the Fable characters like Snow White, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and that's really what this Beauty and the Beast are kind of the focus of this chapter.
Got it.
So you're investigating a murder, multiple murders actually,
Yeah.
and it's good. Why are you not playing it?
No, I played the first one. It's insane.
Okay.
I can't wait to play the second one. I'll do
Why
it
are you
then.
not playing it,
Probably
Brian?
get it this week.
I have no excuse.
Okay, you need to play it.
Get an excuse, damn it. Yeah, that game is really, really good, and they
It's
just
great.
keep
It's
getting
great.
better. And I feel like
I like the comic series.
I just feel like if Fables, right?
Right.
I feel like if this is the future of how those guys Telltale makes games, I'm so in on that. I think if this is the future adventure style gaming, and we leave the old days of I found a pipe, will it fit into the hole? If we don't have to do that stuff anymore, that would be great. That would be great.
There was only one fight scene in this one, and the fight scenes consist of hitting Q, or
yeah.
A, or moving to the left, moving to the right, stuff like that. There was
a
only
controller,
one
or are
fight
you playing keyboard?
keyboard. There's no controller with this game.
There is with the first one.
Is there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
plug it in
I
and it
guess
works.
I guess if you're playing on Xbox, I didn't even.
No, I mean I'm saying like PC.
on the PC.
Mhm.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I have my controller.
That's how I
hooked
played.
up.
It's the same scheme as they used for the Walking Dead games last year, and it feels pretty much identical.
Oh, there
It's
you
nice,
go.
though. I liked
didn't
it.
realize that.
I kind
I
of
did
ended
not
up
realize.
preferring it. I'm usually keyboardy with these kinds of games, but I feel like those guys make these more console-ified. So for whatever reason, I like the controller better.
Are
Anyway.
you looking forward to the Borderlands one?
Yeah, I asked me in a different year, and I would have said whatever. That's weird. But I'm so happy with the way they're doing this stuff that I think I'm in regardless.
The artwork, I think, is a perfect fit.
Yeah, that feels like it, right? That weird kind of hand-drawn,
Yeah, it's all
strange
shady.
thing. Yeah, it's just like what they're doing. So, yeah, that's later this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that and the Game of Thrones. I'm still on the fence with the Game of Thrones.
I'm not.
one.
I think that looks awesome. I think that's another one I'll play for sure.
Have you seen a trailer? I haven't seen a trailer.
No.
I've only seen the snow. It was like a black
couple of
screen and
stills. Yeah,
snow.
there hasn't been much shown. But
So how can you say you're
because I think they'll
looking
do a good job with it. I think that's a rich, cool universe you could do all sorts of things in. I don't think they're going to just straight up try to retell the Game of Thrones story. There's no way. It's too big and complex.
Yeah.
I think they go with some side story thing that none of us have heard of, and I'm all for more of that. It'd be fine with me. We'll see. I just whatever. They just seem to be firing on all cylinders and doing good work, and they're putting the money back into it, and I think that's good for a company like them.
Yeah, I like. This is a great story, so I'm excited about it.
So tell us about this. What's Tear Out? You're not talking about Tear Away, are you?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Tear Out.
I'm not feeling so good. Oops. So Tear Away, yes, the Vita game, and we've talked about Hakito he played this and he raved about it. And he loved it, and it's from the same people that made Little Big Planet. And I got it for Christmas. I just hadn't found the time to play it, so I started playing it last night, and I was hooked.
It's a wonderful game.
This is have you been playing it?
Yeah, I'm almost done with it. I got maybe a level left. I love this game.
Love it. It's adorable, and I think I was smiling the entire time I was playing it.
Yeah, it's like, how can you not? It's just so inventive, and sure, I mean, some have complained, it gets kind of repetitive, you do the same stuff later, but it's still a world I don't mind spending a bunch of extra time in.
Well, the fact that they're using the back pad and you're tapping on it and your digital finger goes.
They're like the Indians and the buffalo. They use all of the Vita.
All of the Vita.
Yeah, they respect.
Too bad this doesn't have
Vita.
like a connect. Too bad it doesn't have like a connect motion sensor on it. That's just too bad.
Well, that'd be
Well,
all right.
they use the camera a lot, so you are the being in the sun.
I hate that part. You know why? It's not that I hate it because I don't think it's cute or cool. It is, but I don't like suddenly that my ugly, unshaven face is suddenly in the sun looking at everything.
I'm like laying in bed. I got a double chin. I'm like, yeah, that's not what I was going for.
Yeah, Tearaway not known for flattering its players, for sure. And it does it so longingly. Like, there's all these paper people staring up into the heavens, and I'm going, I could sure go for a hot dog right about now.
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're playing it.
Yeah, it's adorable. I love it.
I just love how everything looks like construction paper, and it just feels like a real paper craft world. And
that's the whole point of a lot of it is you get paper craft things for the real world. So you print it out and you can make the little squirrel. And so you have a collection of paper craft, if that's what you're into. You can make all of the characters in the real world with the plans that they give you.
Yep,
it's adorable.
Yep,
Get
adorbs.
it.
I like it.
I'm surprised it's not free yet on PlayStation Plus. I'm sure it will be. I have to imagine it'll be one of those things where they say, here.
Especially, it's a super supported Sony thing. Whenever there's one like that, it's almost assured that at some point it'll be one of the free ones for a while, but I think it's a ways off. Probably later this year or something. But it's
worth it.
If you don't want to get it now, and it's not too expensive. I want to say it was 17 on sale or something.
Oh, that's not bad.
That was a completely good deal for a game that good. So yeah, good game. Hell of a
game. Great game.
Tell us about Valentine's Day. I guess we already did.
No, we already talked about it. I was excited to see there was an update to Simpsons Tap Out, and they've changed it up this year again, and they're using the wheel that you spin for stuff, and so you give Valentine's Day cards to your friends, and they give them back, and it's stupid.
But it's also one of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons is a Valentine episode.
I don't even watch The Simpsons. I just play the damn game.
Hey, Scott! Remember the episode where Chief Wiggum's son, what's his name?
Ralph.
Ralph. He gets the crush on Lisa, and he gets the choose me.
Choose me. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a classic episode. That's one where he had a crayon up his nose.
You choose me.
Or that may have been Homer that had a crayon.
Why am I looking at your dungeon?
Because it's probably locked up because that game sucks.
Look at that update.
Yeah, look at that. Not only that, but look how stuck it is. And I'll bet it locks up because mine does constantly.
Still waiting.
We'll talk. That's not even my biggest problem with that game, is how much it locks up. Oh, but we'll get to that. Don't you worry.
No, don't you worry, man.
Yeah, we'll get worry, to that. Little wee heads. Okay, it's time for a little bit of news here. Let's do that.
Valkyrie needs food badly.
I need
Food.
You're going to have to play. Oh, before I tell you about that, let me tell you about our friends at Squarespace.com. Squarespace.com. You're sitting there and you're going, man, I sure like that tearaway Nicole talked about. I'd even play Tear Out if it was a game. And I like it so much that I want to do a fan site all about the little tearaway character, envelope man, head man.
Make your own papercraft.
Yeah, your own papercraft, whatever. You might even want to sell the designs, the schematics. And you're thinking, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make a site or a portfolio or anything to have people come and see how cool this stuff is. I don't have a friend who does it. I'm kind of screwed. No, you're not. Go to squarespace.com, try out the trial, no credit card required, and see what they can do for you. All the templates you'd need for such an enterprise, all of the tools to sell your stuff, everything's right there. Piece of cake, simple pimple. All you got to do is sign up and try it. And if you like it, we are here to save you some money. Use Final at checkout, not at exit. At checkout, use Final, and that will get you 25% off your order at squarespace.com. That's Final is the code, and 25% off at squarespace.com. All right, let's talk about Titanfall. So that's coming to the Xbox One and the PC, and the 360 as well. That's getting delayed.
Sorry, yeah, that's getting delayed.
Delayed on the 360.
So you have to use Origin?
So you have to on the PC. So this is the news that everyone was dreading, because it's EA. EA is the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to make you use Origin. They've not done this with every EA game lately, but once in a while they do, and they usually do it when they think, well, it's so big, we'd be crazy not to with this one, because then more people will use Origin, and then I just get madder and don't want to play their games. But anyway, you have to use Origin to play Titanfall on the PC. Now, some would say, well, what's the big deal? Origin's fine. Fine. Go ahead and use Origin. I think Origin is bloatware and junk. And you say to me, well, what about Steam? What's the difference? Steam's awesome. That's the difference. Origin sucks.
I love your logic.
Right.
Awesome.
I don't even think Origin is bloatware. Is nothingware. It's just there's no value to it.
That's my point. There is no value to it. I can give you a litany of lists of values I get out of Steam. I don't get any value out of Origin. Origin is nothing more than a way for them to try to advertise other stuff to me. And it may be a thin client. It may be better than it's ever been, but there's no point to it. They don't need it. Just let me play your damn game, or put it on other services. Make it more available to other people. If I could buy Titanfall on Steam, I'd do it right now.
Steam is only attractive to me because of the huge library that is available, and Origin just doesn't have that. And if they did, it would only be EA games. I love EA games, but it's just like having the freaking Warner Brothers movie collection thing they're trying to sell now. I'm not interested in your Warner Brothers movie collection. I want Netflix.
Yeah.
I want something from everybody.
I want Amazon Prime. I want big services with everybody in them. I don't want that.
Though the reason why they keep their games in Origin and not, because they don't allow them in Steam. Steam does these amazing sales.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
They let some in there, but it's rare.
So Steam is known for those sales. They mark down games all the time. Do you think that EA is kind of looking as we can control that price point and keep the value of that game versus, I mean,
well, EA has the final say.
Yeah.
They have the final say though, even in Steam. So if Steam says, yeah, we want to put all this stuff on sale, and the publisher doesn't want to do that, they don't do it. So Steam doesn't get to just straight up discount games without anybody having a say. So and the other games like Amalur, which I'm playing, doesn't require any of that crap. It runs in Steam just fine, on its own just fine, on consoles just fine. This is strictly them trying to get an ecosystem that people are forced to come play in. And if the ecosystem was strong and awesome and had the breadth of content that something like Steam or other services have, then great. But that doesn't. It's poop. And
I'm looking in the chat room. Jimmy, how's it going?
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy, and a couple other people are agreeing as well. Origin doesn't bother me horribly bad. I don't like it. Right. I'm not. Origin's kind of a pain, but it's not nearly as bad as Uplay. Uplay is, they have peer-to-peer sharing on updates and that kind of stuff. So when it does destroy your bandwidth, he's saying it destroys his bandwidth. That it absolutely does. I hate when they don't allow you to easily know or manage your peer-to-peer.
Oh yeah, don't get me started, dude. Uplay is worse. Like I'm not saying that the Origin is the end-all worst thing ever, but there are two services worse than Origin. So I'll give them that. It's Uplay and Games for Windows Live. Now, Games for Windows Live is now stopping and
Gone.
being pulled, and thank goodness. I mean,
Right.
all hail Lord Zeus for the change in our lives, because that's the worst thing that ever happened to anybody.
It was terrible.
Uplay is just about as bad, perhaps maybe the worst now that Games for Windows Live is
Right,
leaving.
right.
And then what makes that worse? So there were some games. Someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there were some games that had both a Uplay layer for a Ubisoft game and a Games for Windows Live layer on top of that, and you could buy it in Steam.
Right.
But you had to have all of these three things happening at one time. Who do you have to fire around here to have that never happen again? Like, what is that about?
Remember that Gotham game? That was
God, that was
horrible.
the worst.
Gotham
City.
Yeah,
Imposters,
yes.
Gotham.
Oh, remember that? That was
Imposters.
hideous.
That was the last Windows Live game I played. I
Oh.
said, I am so done.
It's stripped out now. You can play it now, and it doesn't have it. Which is
right.
nice.
It is. Yeah.
That game's actually gotten better. But here's some logic. Okay, I'm going to lay this logic on the heads of our listeners. There is a reason that they don't force people to do this on the console side. Now, they may have options. Hey, you can optionally sign into that Uplay account you may have somewhere else. If not, it's okay. Skip. It's fine. That's what they do on consoles. There's a reason they do that there, and then on the PC, they force it. Do you know why they do that? Because on consoles, nobody would stand for it because the expectation of plug it in and play is too high. On PCs, they are taking advantage of the fact that you are used to a little bit of jank in your life, and you'll be okay with it. You're
running a PC.
Yes, that is exactly what they think. And when they think that, they think less of you, and you should not freaking stand for that crap. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
As collective players, we should rise up and kick them square in the testicles.
I agree.
The digitals.
The
All right?
digitals.
All right, moving on. Ouya got a $30 price break for a limited time. So if you still want to enjoy that,
That's cheap.
pile up
Was
there.
that like
$70?
$70? Yeah,
70,
cheap.
yeah, for the original one. And they got a new one coming out that the only difference is a slightly reworked controller and more memory.
Right.
Not
Yeah, that's
more
important.
CPU or any of that, but more storage, I should say, not memory.
And they did a white one for a little while that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I don't
none
know
of
if
them are
that's
cool.
where
They're all
the
crap.
difference is.
They're all garbage. You know it's true.
Whatever, Scott.
Steam
Whatever.
Steam add recently updated section to organize game updates. Not exactly it's a nice addition, but it's not exactly the early access change I'd like to see, but
Right.
it's something. It's nice to see. Oh, hey, look, update to that game. That's interesting. They might have fixed that problem everyone was complaining about, or they took Windows for Live whatever out of it, or whatever. So that's good. But Steam, how about now? You've done that. How about you go back into your office? Look how I'm pissy today. Go back in there and you make it so that early access is easy to sift out of normal games. Please do that.
Right. It's getting there. It's coming soon.
Okay.
I think it's still there, trying to get that buzzword, trying to get as much as they can out of it right now.
I'm gonna believe you.
I'm gonna believe you. Thank you, man. I appreciate
Let's see what else. Zombie survival game Rust. We talked about Rust. They removed zombies. We talked about that. They kept the survival part.
Thank goodness.
Dungeon
What'd they take that
Keeper.
part
Let's
away?
talk about this big headline, and I agree with it. Dungeon Keeper is shit, and here's why. All right, Brian. I know you're going to defend this game.
I'm going to defend it because it was.
And
how
Nicole,
much?
you've not played it yet, and I'm going to require you to listen to this carefully and make your own choice. Okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want. Because I
I'll
actually
be-
care about you, and I don't want
State
you to.
state your arguments.
I care about you and don't want you to waste your time or your efforts in this life. And so this is one way I can do that, is keeping you
How much
away
is it?
from Dungeon Keeper. It's free.
Oh.
It's free.
So you're not going to waste money. Well, you will if you
in-game
play it the way you're
purchases.
supposed to play it. But anyway, Dungeon Keeper, a revered game from Lionhead Studios, Peter Molyneux back in the day, a PC game that was incredible. Groundbreaking. That and Dungeon Keeper 2,
Funny.
incredible games, funny, interesting, totally new take on genres. Essentially, you were the head demon of a dungeon. Imagine Diablo, but except you're playing all the stuff you're about to encounter, and you set up traps and
Kind of like tower defense.
kind of, but not the same. I wouldn't
Not
say
as
it's the
not
same.
As bad.
No, you're
Not as-
setting up, because you're not really setting up towers and then beefing up those towers. You're saying, what's
It's a
this
little
like? You
deeper
know what
than
this
that.
is more like? This is like that Orcs Must Die 1 and 2. In a way.
Which is kind of tower defense too, but yeah, it's not as simple. I mean, there's a lot of. I don't necessarily say it's a stretch to call it tower defense, but it's kind of got some of those same mechanics.
Some of
but
that,
there's so
sure.
much more. There's a lot more story here. I mean, there's the head demon guy.
Yeah, and he's funny, and you want to kill
He's fun.
the hero that comes, and you're going to use all your little minions to do it, and all these traps and all this stuff. and you spend your currency and you do your thing, and it's fun. And it was a great game for its time and still holds up today. So everybody got kind of excited because since EA owns all this crap now,
Right.
that they were going to put out a new game. They were going to call it Dungeon Keeper. It was going to be on iOS and potentially
So
other
we're
platforms.
thinking, yeah. So we're thinking Dungeon Keeper like on the PC, except it's going to be on my phone.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. Touch interface
good.
fits. Sounds like a good thing so far, doesn't it?
Sounds
Well, first of all, it's buggy as all crap and back and crashes constantly. There's number one problem. Let's say they fix that with that giant update you're getting right now. Okay.
Well, I got the giant update. I wasn't crashing before, so I don't know if I just got in under, because I only downloaded this like middle of this past week.
Oh,
so
yeah, I had it earlier than that. It was a crash
maybe
fest.
I got lucky.
Yeah, the mini crashed more than the full-size iPad. The full-size iPad crashed less than my phone did. Like, it was just constantly having issues. So I gave it as much try as I could. When I was able to get in, this game wants you to pay for everything you want to do or wait. So they have gone with the free-to-play model, which is do a thing and then rush it through by spending a little money, or we'll see you in 5 hours where you can check it again. That fundamentally breaks what Dungeon Keeper is all about. And I hate that. Give me a game, charge me $20 and I'll pay for it, even on the phone.
Yeah, I would.
Give me a real game with real money that I can play like actual Dungeon Keeper, not this unholy abomination that you've made out of Dungeon Keeper.
Not when EA is seeing the type of money rolling in from Simpsons Tapped Out.
But Simpsons Tapped Out can get away with that because it's a genre that had already established itself and they get it. But you're right. It's a
boardroom of execs going, oh, well, Simpsons Tapped Out, that's working with these microtransactions.
That's making more money than Madden is, guys. We got to do more of that. You're totally right. And I hate that you're right because that's the way things are going to go for a while over there. Now, there is a big up fart about this game, and it's got the lowest score.
I love it, up fart.
It's got the lowest score you can get on the App Store. You can't get lower than where it's at right now.
No, that's not true. It has 3 stars.
No, it has 1 on my iTunes. Are you sure?
I'm looking, because I just downloaded it. It has 3 stars.
Hold on, I'm going to look this up.
2,000.
Not that I don't believe you, but I'm surprised.
Maybe it's changed.
Over 2,100 reviews. There's one that says 5 stars, fun so far, but then it's 1 star, greed, complete disappointment, 1 star, completely imbalanced.
Yeah, maybe it was Metacritic I was thinking of. Somebody somewhere is real low.
Shameless money grab.
Let's just say I can totally see why people would dislike this going in, because you have an expectation of what it's going to be.
See, I have no expectation.
Yeah, I didn't really have. I've played the other ones. I have them on the PC. I enjoy them, but I play a lot of games that I immediately when I saw it, it's like, okay, it's free, but there's transactions in game. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, well that means that I will play for 10 minutes here, and then I'll wait for 3 or 4 hours. Next time I get to pick it up, I'll pay for 10 minutes there.
But they could have called this. They could have called this DungeonManUSA.com, and fine, it would have been the same game. But they are using the name Dungeon Keeper because they have people with expectations. They're using the brand to bring them back, right?
I would have appreciated if they had called it Dungeon Keeper in-game play or something that would distinguish
Dungeon
it.
So
you would know that you were not getting involved with something that wasn't Dungeon Keeper.
I agree. It's just dirty pool. Like, here's what IGN had to say about it. They gave it a 40. That's pretty damn low. They said Dungeon Keeper is a bad game that desperately tries to emulate Clash of Clans. Cash of Cans is what it should be.
I don't think it's anything like that.
And it says in its business, he says just their business model, but with no success. There's nothing of the original franchise in this mythic game, and there are just long waits and annoying money requests ahead. US Gamer says the tragedy of Dungeon Keeper is that every so often it shows glimpses of what made it great in the first place. You can see the classic game in there somewhere. It's genius and what could have been, but it's
the imp slapping that is there.
The imp slapping. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Somebody said here, Dungeon Keeper is not a video game. This is Metro Game Central. I don't know who that is. Is not a video game, not anymore. Instead, it's just a virtual beggar constantly demanding your spare change and offering nothing in return. I completely agree with this sentiment, and I think this thing sucks. Expectations aside, they did do one thing that's very funny, I think, and this says something about their own expectations for how things are going so far. They released this thing on iOS and Android. The Android version only. Right. You can't. There are only 2 ways to rate it because it doesn't use the Google Play rating system. It uses its own. Because
Right.
Google Play or the Apple one, you choose 1 to 5 stars. That's just the way it is for everything that's made. It's a standard rating system. On this one, you can do it per game. So it says this: how would you rate Dungeon Keeper with a giant 5 stars in yellow above it to encourage you to go 5? And then there are 2 options: a dark blue 1 to 4 stars, or the
Right.
other option in bright green 5 stars. You can't even give it a 1-star review. You can only give it a 1 to 4.
Interesting.
Well, I just think that says a little something about what they think, doesn't it?
Right. Well, you know,
I
this
just
is
feel
kind
like
of
I feel like everyone in the world is treating me like an idiot for the last week. Like, how
Right.
dumb do they think players are? We're not stupid.
Well, this is kind of like Reggie coming out this past week saying that Nintendo, you know, we know what's best, and we hear you, we listen, we hear you saying stuff, we just don't care.
Yeah,
Did you guys read that
Yeah.
interview with Reggie this past week of Nintendo?
Nintendo makes me sad. There's so much.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anybody? It's like this. Let's say Nicole had every. Let me think about this. Let's say, okay, here we go. Nicole, you have all the great Christmas cookie recipes ever made. They're all they're in your possession. Nicole has them in a closet at her house. She is the sole owner of these cookie recipes, and if those cookie recipes were placed properly, they would make her billions of dollars, and she would be the hero of Christmas time because she has this amazing stuff, and she figured out the best way to get it out in people's hands. But instead, she's like, well, no, and they're going to put most of it in the garage and keep it there, and no one will ever see it again. And then a few things I'll drag out, and I'll just do really weird ways of giving it people. Like, the only way you get this recipe is if you buy this old dirty clam with like a horse's eyeball in it, and then they can have that, and that's how they can get the recipe. That's what Nintendo's like. It's these weird. They get the best content, best games, best concepts, and some of the best developers in the history of the medium, and they wrap it all up in their goofy hardware decisions and their strange release stuff. It sucks, and I don't understand how you can sit on that giant pile of potential money and not know what to do with it.
I've heard that Nicole has a Toll House elf at her house in a hamster cage right now.
Is that it?
Bake cookies for me, bitch.
Do it. Okay, Mrs. Spagnolo. Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Moving on. Penis Brothers and Rust. Let's talk about this real quick.
Yeah, right.
So,
Well, and I sent you guys the story about DayZ players as well. So there's two different. There's a lot of weird stuff happening in these games, and I just thought it was funny that these little.
yeah.
There's a lot of pent-up sexual frustration in these
survival games, and there's just the weird parts of people's
Power.
personalities are coming out, you know? It's a
Yeah.
really interesting study. I hope somebody's paying attention to this who knows
it's
stuff.
It's no different than you know, middle school de-pantsing and that kind of stuff. It's just it's happening in the game world, which really sucks. I used to be relegated to just the jocks, and now it's
Well,
also
it
the
is, but
survival
think of it
games.
this way. This is where it's different. The jocks who did it in school had repercussions. They would have to go to the principal's office. Sometimes there was a fight. People got hurt. Like, there's a lot of other circumstances that would happen.
Right.
Here in the virtual worlds of Rust and DayZ and others, this stuff goes down, and there really are no repercussions. I
Right.
mean, there's a bunch of people talking about it on the internet, but there's no actual repercussions. So if you're a total Hitler in your fake world, and in real life you're just selling copiers, well, what's to say you wouldn't become like the dude in The Postman who used to sell copiers? Remember that?
Yeah.
So here's a piece of that video of them running around with their wieners out.
Our goal is to meet fellow penis brothers and recruit potential penis brothers into our group. Hey, buddy, you want to join us, the penis brothers?
Okay, so it's basically...
They'll shoot you if you don't take your pants off.
yeah, if you don't take your pants... Because Rust features textured polygonal dudes with their wieners out. That's just the way that game works.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. When you come into the world, your wiener's out.
Oh,
Even you, Nicole.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you're
Well,
naked. You're naked in the world like a caveman.
I thought I had like boxers on.
Mm-mm,
You
not
don't see
anymore.
Yeah, you don't see yourself.
They
so
used
you don't
to.
know that. That's
So
the
for a
reason
while
why.
they had. I want
I'm
to
so
say.
embarrassed.
I want to say for a while they had pants, and then for a while they had blurred junk. But I think
Yeah.
right now, if you go in there, it's just you're swinging your doodle.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's it.
I didn't think so.
Pretty
I don't know.
sure.
Chat room.
Pretty sure.
Let me know for
I could be
sure.
wrong, and I don't think that's the final state of things, to be honest.
I was thinking that might be a mod or something.
I'm pretty sure
Really?
everyone's naked all the time.
I'm not sure because you can't look at yourself, and that aggravates me.
Yeah,
at
well,
least
you
look
definitely
at-
can't look at yourself. You can go in third
Right.
person from the back, I think, but that's it, right?
Right.
You can't turn around and go, well, look at Jimmy and the two twins. So here's the thing. The hard part of the video, or the part that may upset some people, is that forcing another person via gunpoint to drop their pants in real life would send you to 30 prisons tomorrow.
Yes.
Doing it in the virtual world is funny and dumb. But I guess, we kill people all the time in games. We run over stuff.
Well, and then they
cars.
humiliate them. I mean, that if you watch it is.
Yeah.
It is. And that's the same way with the DayZ. Two guys running around basically threatening, if you don't sing your national anthem, we're just going to kill you.
Yeah.
And that's what they do in this video.
There's a ridiculousness to it that I like. Like
weird rules that these players are coming up with.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
stand on one foot and, sing.
I mean,
sing whatever song.
I watched Frankie in 1080p as a YouTuber guy that I like from the UK somewhere, and he was doing. This has nothing to do with these games. He was playing a what do you call it? What's the Arma 3 mod called Rebels, I think, or something. Anyway, it's cops versus rebels. And the rebels come into town, and when you're in town, the cops can pull you over in your truck, give you a ticket, make you pay, or warn you, or shoot you, or arrest you, or whatever. And there's the game is really about testing the boundaries of like this voice-activated kind of make up your own politics, make up your own laws kind of world. And it scared me more than any of this, because in that world, this cop pulls him over, says, pull over to the side of the road. He's like, I am. What's the other side of the road? This is the side of the road. Okay, fine. You're close enough to the road. What am I in trouble for? You're going to pay a $200 fine for looking at me wrong.
Right.
And I went, ugh. That in a real world setting? That's bad. That's real bad.
Right.
So I think this is actually probably, some people are going to jump on this kind of stuff and go, look, this is what's wrong with video games and kids today, anarchist, this and that and the other. I actually think there is some value in this. I think there's value in people expressing themselves in this way when they're in their teens and being jackasses that will let them explore this stuff without exploring it in the real world and kind of get some of this stuff out of their system, explore it intellectually and say, well, how did I feel about that thing I did? Am I truly this narcissistic butthole? And you know what I mean? Like, I think there's probably, it's easy for us to jump on the negative, but I actually think some of this stuff turns out with good study and not jump into conclusions, probably find out that some of this stuff is actually healthy explorations of these concepts.
Right.
You know?
So is this kind of like you kind of compare this to like to the Amish teenagers who get to do their little freedom thing?
Kind of. What
Kind of like, they go out.
Called?
Yeah, Rumspringa.
Yeah.
Rumspringa.
Do you guys see those? They're mostly in like Pennsylvania and stuff, but do you ever see any of that down where you're at?
No, what?
Really?
Coming down to South Carolina to break loose in the Amish?
Yeah.
Doubtful.
No, not so much. I mean, I watched a documentary on that, and some of them were like doing crack all weekend. And it's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I know what documentary you're talking about.
I think I saw.
So you can come back and have something to be asked for forgiven for. It's like, okay, I've really done some stuff.
Yeah, but in those cases, that has real repercussions because that guy comes back a heroin addict. These guys just log out. They log out and do something else. So it's going to be hard for older generation people to understand it or even commiserate with what I'm saying about it. But I just think it's so easy to jump to these conclusions that it's like a training. Like if you're in a plane, let's say you're in a plane simulator and you're training to be a pilot. Well, that's all fake, and you crash 5-6 times and nobody died. But the implications are, wow, if this is real world, I would have killed 300 people. Well, we see value in that. I just think there's value in seeing how people behave when you can virtualize it all, and then let's see what they do. And then if they do that, what does that mean? Does that mean anything at all, or does it mean that that when you pull away these barriers of reality, then anything goes and that's okay? Or is that not okay? Like, I think exploring this is a healthy societal thing.
I think, I agree with you, because I think, is it a healthy societal thing? I don't know. Does it actually exist? Yes. Whether I have video games or not, teenagers, teenagers, I would say anywhere between 11, 15, even maybe up even later, as according to how mature they are. They fantasize about this kind of stuff, and they joke about this kind of stuff, and they explore those things through late night discussions with other kids their age, because it's just like, well, what if what if I said this and I did that, and and what if we humiliated somebody like this? Wouldn't that be hilarious? And it's just it's an exploration of boundaries.
Yeah.
But what we have here though is an actual we're actually able to take a look into this culture that happens during that.
It's easy to be put off by it because it's not
scary.
It's not in a school or something. But what was that? Is it humanities or what was the? That's not the name of the class. There was a class in high school where this stuff is explored, called. Humanity.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's something like Humanities, but that's not what it's called.
We do like the totalitarian week where we pick a leader and then everyone's wearing armbands and
Everybody has to wear a Hitler mustache. It's awesome.
Kinda, yeah.
Right.
I mean, and if you didn't do something right, you were humiliated and had to get on the floor and do push-ups or something. I mean, it was all stuff our parents had to agree to, but that's what that exercise is about. And
have you ever talked about this on Therapy Thursday?
No, we should though. Well, the problem
It'd be good.
If Wendy has any bias, it's against video games. So I think with her, we're doing this 12 series thing we're going to be working on soon, going to kickstart it and stuff. I think that this is definitely a topic we have to talk about.
Did you happen to see the episode of Bullshit about this topic?
Yeah,
with Penn and Teller.
Yeah, a lot of shooter games were talked about in that one, as I recall.
Yeah, and they were talking about shoot in game versus real life and different studies that are being shown that the violence among teens is down.
Yeah.
And why is that? Not necessarily, like you were talking about, maybe them being able to act out in this virtual world could be one of the reasons. I don't know.
One thing I didn't like about that show is I felt like it was awesome and needed a bigger audience, and having it like squished away on some Showtime schedule.
Yeah.
Where nobody who really needed to hear this would see it. Like, I felt like that show needed to be seen by mainstream parents on a network channel. And that would never be there. So I get why it's where it was. But wouldn't that be better if like people who are dumb about that stuff could actually see that stuff? I don't know. Always.
Did they stream that? That should be streaming on like Amazon or Netflix.
I want to say that's where I saw some of them, but then it's not there anymore or something.
Yeah.
It was like some brief period on Netflix or something.
It's a really good show.
Yeah, it is. It makes you
seek
think.
it out. I mean,
if you're a skeptic and you're a person that likes to get to the raw truth of things, that show's pretty good at doing that. Some people hate it, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's great.
They can be a little bit abrasive. Absolutely.
Well, that's my point.
They have to be.
Yeah,
They have to use a lot of cuss. I mean, that's what they say in the very beginning. You're going to hear us cuss a lot, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's basically to get your damned attention. And
because calling someone a liar or calling someone a fraud, you can be sued for that.
Yeah.
But they call them an a-hole or anything
get
else.
away with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't think about that. A-hole is not defamation, but calling him a fraud is. What if he's
funny?
What if you say a fraudulent a-hole? Then what?
I
guess that's bad.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Still frauds in the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what a fraudulent a-hole would be? That'd be an a-hole that makes milk and cookies. That'd be a fraud.
Be a horse pretending to be a donkey.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. All right, email. Got a quick email here we're going to throw out from Jeff Anderson from Minnesota. Don't you know?
Mr. Anderson.
Oh, hello, Jeff Anderson. What are you doing out there today? He says, hello, Final Score crew. I just had an idea while listening to your last show, and I wanted your opinions on it. What if, when you created a character in an MMO, you didn't have the basic character creation, but you took a picture of yourself, uploaded it to the servers, and it was amped over your character. Amped? I think he means mapped. Mapped over your character and took height and body size into consideration. I would love to hear your thoughts. Keep up the great work. P.S. I am fine with my name being said on air. I know how you are careful about names on the air to protect
Are you?
people.
I didn't think you were.
I don't think I'm that careful.
Did you do first and last? Because usually we don't do last.
Well, he signed
Minnesota,
it. Jeff Anderson from Minnesota.
3rd Street.
Yeah. Up the road from.
He goes to Starbucks at 4:00 every day.
Sounds about right. This is not anything new in terms of games. I remember what was the EA?
It's been played with a little bit.
There was an EA game where you could use the Microsoft camera. This is before the Kinect, but the little weird camera they used to have on the 360, and you could take a picture of the front, side, and back of your head, and they would map that on the soldier. And it was weird looking. The problem with the MMO thing is people are going to take pictures of themselves naked. They're going to have, I mean, like I did this thing. I was just curious. With Tearaway, Nicole, there's a scene where you get to color what a goat or a horse looks like, and it textures it with whatever photo you take. And so I thought, well, what's to stop somebody from just taking a picture of their junk or something for this thing? So now I didn't do that. But I went and took a picture of the
horse
dog.
Was well endowed.
I took a picture of the dog's belly. Our dog has like a pink belly. So I took a picture of Daisy's belly, and then sure enough, that horse is walking around with Daisy's texture all over it. So all it would take, if somebody's like, I want to put my big hairy nipple on that horse, no problem.
Right.
So
I am interested in it. This is kind of like an idea of like maybe photo scanning your whole body, and it's what they're doing already in movies and how they get basically how they get accurate animation of actors already. They just do it in a more
That
much more
detective
complex way.
game. What the hell was that game?
Oh,
Right.
Film noir, L.A. Noir.
Yeah, L.A. Noir.
Yeah.
Yeah, L.A. Noir. Yeah, right.
What a cool game.
So
I love that game.
I'm with him. I think it would be a fun thing to do, but the abuse, like Scott's saying, the abuse.
It'd be a little rough to get through. It was already abusive on that 360 one I was telling you about. I would be playing that game. I'd zoom in with my scope to snipe somebody. His head would pop up, and I'm shooting at somebody's testicles.
Yeah.
Because they would take a picture of their
yeah.
crotch and mash it over the top of their
That's
face.
terrible.
I know. What the hell?
What game was that?
He didn't even have a face. It was Warfighter or someone in the chat will know. Maybe in a Tom Clancy game. I don't remember.
Oh.
It was you could take.
I mean, why would you want to do that? I mean, somebody's shooting you in your virtual junk. That's terrible.
It is terrible. But the idea that people can do these things is part of this. Well, it's part of what we were talking about earlier with Dustin or Rustin. Rather,
I think the point is that we've seen so much sandbox type game development over the last couple of years. Is really where everything's shifted to, because we want to make our own games. We're saying, like, give us a platform, we'll make our own games. We're still in a very experimental phase. And if you put the general public into an experimental phase, they're gonna do everything that they can do to be perverse
they're gonna
test
break
every
it.
boundary.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's why people do beta tests now. It's not just to see if your code's good; it's to see how people are going to jerk you around.
Exactly. Now, Irony Man in the chat room is telling us that you can do this with some of the Kinect stuff. Easy Connect 3D scanner and stuff, and I've looked at it briefly, but I don't have.
If I could tell you the Uno games I played on Xbox Live and had to stare at some Canadian's wiener the whole time. I mean, I kind of got used to it.
Oh no, I'm out.
I kind of got used to it after a while because I wanted to play, but I'm like, oh,
right.
And you can block people and all that, but there were times where I just would, he's not wearing pants, there's another one, and I just keep playing and beat him usually.
And beat them, yeah. Well, because
they're
too focused on showing you their wiener.
Yeah, they're not there. They're not there to challenge you in Uno.
Right.
They're showing their Uno. Exactly. Let's do one of these, and then we'll get out of here.
We're kicking it old school.
It's time for Old School, and that's where we talk about an old video game, and this one is close to my heart. We used to have one of these in the house with free play on it. My dad, when he owned arcades, would bring home Missile Commands all the time. We had a sit-down one and a full stand-up model. Missile Command in the arcade is the game. 1980. Woo!
Can you believe we haven't done this one? I went back to the...
It is surprising, yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of the classics, yeah.
It is.
One of the great classics. It's a 1980 game made by Atari Incorporated that was also licensed to Sega of Europe. To be released in the UK. It is considered one of the most notable games from the golden age of video games. The plot of the Missile Command game is simple.
So what's the plot?
The player's 6 cities are being attacked by an endless hail of ballistic missiles. Some of them may even split and make multiple independent targetable reentry vehicles. These are called MIRVs. Later levels, smart bombs, and all kinds of other stuff. And I actually beat that game. There's a way to beat the game. There is an ending to that game.
Right.
At some point, it just quits being too hard, and then it says, congratulations, you've saved the universe. And it got to the point where, I mean, we played very competitively, but it had a ball, three little switch buttons, and a ball. Each of the 3 buttons represented your 3 bases. And the closer you were to one base, or if there was a thing coming to one of your bases, you'd want to use the defense turret nearest the impact so that it would be the quickest missile to kill it. And after a while, I mean, the whole screen was just blah with tons of stuff.
It was.
And you're just and just laying down like carpet bombs of missiles to catch all these other missiles coming at you. What an amazing time that game was.
Absolutely. And it makes me wonder if kind of how they did all these little explosions and stuff. It totally reminds me of War Games. I'm sure that was probably influenced in that Matthew Broderick nice film
I think
there.
so too, sure.
Absolutely.
Those
and
explosions like the balls that come out and then go back and
right.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and I played this a good bit. Was never really that good at it because you have to think. Okay, well, the missile is going to be at this point, so you can't shoot it. You can't shoot it at the missile. You have to shoot it where the missile will eventually be. So I was always having trouble with that. But I had completely forgotten about this game, other than just forever until I was on YouTube the other day and I was like, oh, here's a neat little Easter egg you may not know. Type in 1980 and it'll bring up Missile Command at the top and it'll try to blow up your video.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. So I did that, and that's what kind of brought it back to my mind.
Yeah, and you got bonus cities every 10,000 points. I remember that was always a nice feeling to hear that sound. Seasoned players could play the game in theory indefinitely. However, marathon players will play the game until it ends, either due to the game literally ending, fatigue, or mechanical breakdown of the machine.
Mechanical breakdown.
And
That would be my favorite. If you can play a game to the point that you actually break it,
yeah.
that's pretty good.
Nicole, did you ever play?
I was just looking at the controls, and it had one of those track balls,
Right,
and I did play this
A little
because
bit.
yeah, I remember playing this because they always had these types of machines in the bars.
Yep.
So
Nicole was a frequenter of bars.
well, no, in the small town that I grew up in, that's you would go to the local bar and grill, and they would serve lunch. And so my dad would give me quarters to go play, Q-Bird or whatever, and I remember playing this.
Honey, I'll be over here. You go play those games.
Stop it!
I do that with my kids, except I'm the one playing the games and they're off to do the other thing. But that game it's a staple at bars, hangouts, arcades. Like that's you just always see them there. Here's some sound of the terrible Atari 2600 port of Missile Command, which was so bad. Oh, listen to the sounds. Oh, I can't put people through this anymore. And I guess it's not. There were 6 cities, not 3. I had that wrong, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no! I'm sorry. It was 6 cities, but 3 missile batteries. That's what it is.
Right.
This is the kind of game that I enjoyed rolling the trackball, but I was terrible at this game.
Right, but there's something felt good about that, right? The ball.
Right, you're like doo.
I think that's why I like Marble Madness so much. Still to this day, it's just that feeling of like rolling that ball. And what else did that? Centipede, Millipede.
Yes.
That golfing game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that golfing game was great.
God, what was it? T or something like that.
Off or
Yeah,
Another
I can't
game.
remember.
and you would just roll that thing forward to do your
Yeah,
hit.
you just,
Oh, I
Right.
loved it, man. Yeah,
Another
bring
game.
back the ball.
Right. Another
Yeah.
game called Touch My Ball. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember Touch My Ball. It was at your house in the basement on a Friday night. All right, well, there you go. That's it. That's it, everybody. We're done. Kind of a long show, but I'm glad we got one in this week. Brian, I'm glad you're feeling better. Nicole, I hope you feel
am
better.
I'm getting there.
Email us, podcast@finalscoreshow.com, and we'll read your emails here on the show. Before we go, though, let's talk about what you guys have going on. Nicole, tell us about what's hot in your world right now.
Still doing Nerd Parents every week. In fact, we just released the Scott Johnson episode.
Whoa, who's
And
that guy? What a jerk. What an
Yeah.
a-hole.
Scott and your lovely wife Kim came on the show, and I forgot to mention Brian also was on the show, episode 3.
No,
Yeah, so
look at that.
And I've actually gotten a good bit of feedback for those who don't know, and you don't have to be all surprised or anything. I did go through a divorce recently, so I am a divorced dad of video gaming kids now. So it is the dynamics of trying to get in the gaming time we used to get.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
It's
And
a good
I've actually
perspective
gotten
to have. It's
lot of
good because a
people
lot of people don't.
appreciated that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I heard that episode. It was really good.
Yeah, and I got a lot of feedback from single dads and guys going through that divorced dad kind of situation. So interesting.
Yeah, it's
So
good stuff.
I enjoy
Nerdparents.com. Is that where they go?
nerdparents.com. Yep, we're in Stitcher, we're in iTunes, all that fun
All right.
stuff. So
Good. And
check it out.
also now part of the Frogpants mega feed. So
Yes.
if that's how you get your shows, you'll find it there every week. And
Yeah.
that's good stuff. On the day Scott remembers to post things.
Okay. I just do a gentle nudge every once in a while.
I like Nicole's. Her emails are about my lifeline to normalcy. It's like, oh, I didn't do something. Nicole, surely tell me. Brian, anything from you?
Absolutely, Comics Coast to Coast. Today we talked to German cartoonist illustrator Daniel Lieske.
Ah, yeah, boy, yeah.
He does Worm World Saga. You can see that at wormworldsaga.com, and the interview will be going up this upcoming Monday. I think it's like February the 10th or something like that. Great guy, great interview. Got to bring him back on. Just couldn't get everything discussed that we wanted to talk about during the show.
That's great.
Full of information.
No, that's
Love
very
it.
cool. And new film sack this weekend as well with me, you, and Brian
Yes.
Ibbett and Randy Jordan. We'll be talking about. I forgot.
What are we watching? I forget too, because I would keep wanting to think it's that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, was it Last Stand, but it's
Right.
not.
It's the one after that, and I can't remember what it is we're doing. Big Red Angry Red Planet or whatever.
Oh, yes, right. Big Angry Red Planet.
Angry Red Planet from '59, I want to say. So I'm
Right.
excited, dude. Old movie.
And I keep thinking every time you say that, I always keep thinking of Ice Cube and the Angry Red. Was it Mars? Red Mars? What was it?
Red
Red Dead
Planet
Mars.
Red Dead Mars. I don't remember. Something like
Red
that.
Dead Redemption.
But
That's it.
no, but that game I'd see in a movie form any minute of the day if you could just do it. All right, well, that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the show. I know we had a good time. Email us again, podcast at finalscoreshow.com. We're on the web at finalscoreshow.com. On Twitter, TFS Show. Scott Johnson. Brian Dunaway is the Brian Dunaway. There's a V in front of that. And Nicole Spag at Nicole Spag. We're on Steam. We're on Facebook. We're all over the place. Check them all out. We'll see you guys next week for a whole new episode of The Final Score. Bye.
Bye.
Yay.
Sweet.
Ghost of Mars from Irony Man in the chat room. That's
Ghost
what
of
it was.
Mars. That was a John Carpenter thing.
Yeah.
Did we watch that? We haven't seen that.
I don't think we've seen that one yet, but for some